So you want to start a business or side hustle, but you're nervous and afraid. Trust me, you're not alone. I remember how nervous I was starting my first business. I had a lot of negative what-if thoughts that held me back from pressing the gas. Starting a business is tough, especially if you don't know anyone who's done it before. And if you don't have a supportive family or group of friends, or even worse, they're intentionally trying to discourage you, it becomes nearly impossible to see the bright side of pursuing your calling. But I'm living proof that it can be done, even if it feels like the odds are stacked against you. Hi, I'm Eleanor, your life coach, and today I want to share with you the self-sabotaging thoughts I had about starting my own business and how I overcame them. The first negative thought that came to mind when contemplating starting my business was that no one will want to hire me. The health and wellness industry is really oversaturated, and it didn't help that every time I turned on social media, I could see another person further along on their business growth. It seemed like they just had it together way more than I did, so why bother, right? I was just really discouraged. I felt like I didn't have anything special to offer, but I was wrong. What I came to realize is that while there may be a lot of people in your industry, no one, and I mean no one, is going to do it exactly like you. Y'all can have the same exact business idea, but you're two different people. Your customers will see something special in you, in your product, and your service, and gravitate towards it. You just have to believe in yourself and be authentic, because if you try to run your business like anyone else, you won't be able to sustain. Your authenticity is your calling card, and your tribe will find you. In order to start my business, I had to get a couple certifications, and they were really expensive. As someone who struggled financially, I was used to counting every single dollar. I was afraid to spend money, and I didn't feel like I could even invest in myself. So instead of getting the certificate right away, I started with what I could. I watched YouTube videos, I bought books, I listened to podcasts, and once I had done as much as I could on my own, I took the next step and paid for the certifications. Now at the time, spending a couple $1,000s on something I wasn't 100% sure would work felt really foolish and caused me a lot of anxiety. I realized that I needed to reframe if I was going to get rid of the anxiety. I had to start looking for examples of other people who were in similar situations and became successful. All I really needed was a little bit of hope and a whole lot of trust in myself. What I wish I would have understood then, but I know now, is that investing in yourself is never a waste of money. The next self-sabotaging thought I had was that I needed to be perfect in order to get started. And boy, was I wrong, let me tell you. My first client was a colleague at my job who mentioned in casual conversation that she wanted to work on her health and wellness. At that moment, something told me to speak up. So I offered my services for $15 a session. I was charging pennies in comparison to the competition, but I wasn't doing it for money. I did it to gain experience. I needed a client under my belt so I could test my business plan and build the confidence to expand. I was literally learning on the job. I would study before and after our sessions and use her results to help hone my skills. Not only was she happy with her experience, I gained way more clients who were direct referrals from her. So no, you don't need to be perfect, but you do need a plan and you need to start somewhere. Once I felt more confident, I went from $15 a session to $30 a session, but that was still a steal. And I was getting a lot of business, but I was exhausted. And I realized that I needed to raise my rates in order to maintain a basic level of sanity in my life. But I was afraid that if I raised my prices, all my clients would leave. I believed in my work, but wasn't that confident that others would see the value in my business too. I remember the day I started telling clients that I was raising my rate to $60 a session. I was so nervous that I barely slept. I went to my first session of the day and told my client my prices were going up, and all she said was, "Makes sense." She was more than happy to pay the rate. I was proud of myself for moving forward despite my fear. So if you're afraid to raise your price, here's the truth. You might lose a few clients, but that's okay. The ones who stay know your worth, and if you're providing excellent service, it won't be long before you attract even more customers. So keep your head up and keep going. Raising my prices also helped me debunk the myth that I needed a lot of clients to make a living. Sure, you can have a lot of clients at a lower rate if you want. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you offer quality service, you should charge rates that reflect that. But the key here is your business needs to be tight. You can't charge high rates and have poor service and lack professionalism. You can't be tardy, and you need to make sure you follow through. Most customers will be loyal if you run a tight ship, so make it easy for them to stay. Starting a business is not for the faint of heart. It takes a lot of work, but it can be extremely rewarding and fun. Being my own boss, it increased my self-confidence tenfold. So if you're thinking about doing it, I recommend you take that jump and invest in yourself. You'll learn so much about who you are and grow in ways you can't even imagine. I hope this video helps you ditch the imposter syndrome and go for the gold. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel, as I make this content to help people just like you, and I've got a lot more coming your way. And if you're looking for a life coach to help you on your journey, check out my website where you can learn more about my services. Life is a journey full of twists and turns. And if the pandemic taught us anything, it's that safety is an illusion. The best bet you can make is betting on yourself. Until next time, be well.